we're going to restore the special low interest rates for public sector workers.
So, over the next few years, in our third term, we will double the minimum wage from $16,000, what we have carried it to now, having almost tripled it, to $32,000.
Remember this very clearly. They promised you a $32,000 minimum wage during the election campaign. But look what happened in the 2026 budget. Welcome back to Michy Deck's Commentary, your #1 place for real talk, bold analysis, and the truth behind the headlines. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because over here, we tell it exactly as it is. But listen to this. Now, Jamaica, take a serious look at this. During election time, there were big promises, a $32,000 minimum wage. That sounded like real change.
So, over the next few years, in our third term, we will double the minimum wage from $16,000, what we have carried it to now, having almost tripled it, to $32,000. In our first budget, the minimum wage will move from $16,000 to $18,500, and then gradually after that for the next few years. Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. It is necessary to do this. It is necessary to do this, and I want all Jamaicans to appreciate how our economy has changed. Yes, it's important for quality of life, but here's a big problem. At 3.3% unemployment, you are practically at full employment. People are not making a decision to leave what they are doing. Many of them are at home. Many of them are at the street side. Some of them are hustling. And so the incentive to work at that level is not strong enough. So by increasing the minimum wage gradually, you shift the incentive to work in favor of work. So you're going to get more Jamaicans voluntarily deciding to move out of the unemployment pool and into the labor pool. And that will give greater opportunity for growth in the economy.
Madam Speaker, last year, we signaled our intention to continue the journey from a minimum wage to a livable wage. And we indicated that the next step would be to increase the minimum wage to $18,500. However, in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, many of our businesses are rebuilding, many households are still recovering, and the economy is now navigating yet again another external shock in terms of energy prices and shipping costs. In this context, the government believes it is important to strike the right balance by continuing to improve earnings of workers while recognizing the realities employers face. We therefore propose a measured increase in the minimum wage from $16,000 to $17,000 effective July 1, 2026. $16,000 to $17,000 effective July 1, 2026. $16,000 to $17,000 effective July 1, 2026. This does not represent a departure from our long-term policy objective. The government remains committed to transition from a minimum wage to a livable wage.
But fast forward to the 2026 budget, and what did the people actually receive? A $1,000 increase. So let's break this down clearly. What was promised at $32,000 has now been reduced in real terms and replaced with just $1,000. That is not progress. That is not relief. That is deception. Jamaicans need to start paying attention. When it's time to campaign, you hear promises. When it's time to govern, you see the reality. A $1,000 increase in 2026, with the cost of living rising every single day, food prices up, electricity up, transportation up. That is not helping people. That is barely allowing people to survive. And yet you're being told that the country is doing well. So the question is, who is really benefiting? Because the average Jamaican is still struggling. And let's be honest, you had another option. Mark Golding presented a different vision, different policies, and a different path forward. But that opportunity was rejected.
If you work long hours to keep Jamaica running, you deserve to take home every cent you earn. For too long, our police officers, firefighters, security guards, and hospitality workers have been taxed on their overtime and gratuities. That ends with the next PMP government. We will remove taxes from overtime pay and service charges. Because if you give more, you should keep more. You put in the extra work. You go beyond the call of duty. Your sacrifice should be rewarded, not taxed. It is time for fairness. It is time for respect. Jamaica, time come for a better life.
Now, Jamaica, you are seeing the result of that decision. And before we close, let me remind you of something important, because it's easy to forget what was on the table.
Every Jamaican deserves a place to call their own home. Our plans are to make that a reality. We don't bulldoze people's homes, we build them. We're going to restore the special low interest rates for public sector workers. We're going to introduce a 3-month moratorium period after you buy the house, so you have some time to furnish it and do little fixing up before you have to start making your mortgage payments. And we'll increase the debt service ratio for public sector workers so that you can qualify for a bigger mortgage loan. We're really thinking about you guys. And for our young people, we have the Young Owners Fund, a $1 billion annual fund within the NHT, where anyone up to 35 who's buying house for the first time, if they're an NHT contributor for at least 2 years, can get a grant of $500,000 towards the deposit on the house. And if you're a person who is working but can't produce a pay slip because you're in the informal economy, or you're struggling to save enough for a deposit for a home, we have the rent-to-own plan, where you can go into the house as a tenant, paying rent equal to the mortgage, and after 6 months, if you can establish your capacity to pay the rent on time, you'll be eligible for the mortgage, you can draw down the loan and become an owner of the house and step up in life. Because housing is not just a luxury for the few, it's a must for everyone.
These were not just promises. These were opportunities. Opportunities to ease pressure, opportunities to build stability, opportunities to move Jamaica forward. But those opportunities were turned away. And today, you are living with the results of that choice. This is no longer about politics. This is about your daily life and survival. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this budget truly helps the people? Like, share, and subscribe for more real analysis. Walk good, Jamaica.